Now, once you feel like your client's developed enough control of their shoulder when they're using a kettlebell, you can stand them up and work on the windmill exercise, which you'll have them press the kettlebell up overhead and keep their eyes on the bell while they slide down towards the floor as far as they can, and then come back up again. Okay? Again, if your client has a chance of losing control of the kettlebell, if they take their eye off of it, they can really hurt themselves or hurt somebody else around them. So to prevent that and to work that stability before you get them into that position, you can try a TheraTube exercise, which works the same position, but there's less risk of injury. Now, all these exercises aren't just fitness exercises. They're great to help patients in physical therapy recover from rotator cuff injuries or any type of shoulder instability. Now, for prerequisites for exercises such as the windmill or the overhead squat, like I said, I would start somebody off with a TheraTube. Just anchor either the center to the wall and use the resistance of both sides of the band, or if they're a little bit weaker, just attach one end and use just a single layer of TheraTube. And what you would do is have your client get into the windmill position with the tubing. Now the resistance is pulling me back. Have them go into the windmill without losing control. Now if they lose control, it's really, they can step back. They're not going to drop anything. It's just the TheraTube. You could change the resistance by moving further away from the anchor to make it more, or you can make it easier by moving closer to the anchor of the TheraTube. And you would just have them move down into their windmill, come up. You can have them do a couple in one position, and then just have them change their body position. So now, if they move, let's say 45 or 90 degrees off of where they were, there's a totally different angle of pull on their shoulder. So now there's a different stability that's needed in the shoulder. Same thing, move into the windmill, come up, then turn another 90 degrees. Now I have the tubing pulling me forward and I'm trying to resist it. In the last position, another 90 degrees. It's here, and you can either do the windmill, you can do the same thing with an overhead squat. Have the resistance pulling back, go into an overhead squat, turn 45, 90 degrees, 60 degrees, however you want to do it. Go into another squat. So you can see with the tubing and with the changing body position, I have multiple degrees of resistance on my shoulder, so it's very taxing for shoulder stabilization. It's a great exercise. Try that, then you can progress your client into the kettlebell windmill or the kettlebell overhead squat. Okay, so quick review of initiating the overhead squat or the windmill with your client. Hold off on using the kettlebell initially until they are able to control the weight with their shoulder and they develop that body awareness that's necessary so that they don't risk injuring themselves or others. You're going to use the TheraTubing, anchor it at a low level on the wall, and this is just what it's going to look like. So for the windmill, keep the arm overhead. Now if I stand further away from the anchor, I'm going to feel more of a resistance pulling me back. I can't let it pull me back, I have to control it. So my windmill would be there, my overhead squat would be here. Now if I just turn a couple degrees one way, there's a totally different pull on my upper extremity. Now it's pulling on an angle back and to my right. Do the same motion, windmill, squat, turn a little bit more. Now it's pulling me completely laterally. Squat, turn again. And keep repeating that until you go full circle.